Scrappy-Doo. He's a part.
Keep going, Dan.
No, I'm done.
Okay,
Hi,
here
guys.
we go. Intro music starts.
Slappity-doo.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Welcome to LeafCast, a first-time reader show based on the epic fantasy series Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan. To my left is Brother Dan, and below me is Tom of Dragonmount, and we are here to talk about Lords of Chaos chapters 13 through 16. Lots of chapters, lots of words. We're heading through them. Brother Dan, how you feeling? Tom, how you feeling?
Oh, gosh. Super.
Well, let's turn you up a little bit.
I feel super. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
I was going to say, you sweet idiot, I love you.
I love you.
As Egwin does to Gawain in his dream.
Oh, well, let's get into it. Let's bring in our first time reader.
Shh. And he died
God damn
in
it,
a
we're on
fiery crash. Hey, there you go.
Still haven't finished chapter 17, y'all. Sorry.
I think we
right.
can forgive you, Josh.
Just this once.
Just
Just
life,
as once.
right?
Well, you know what? We'll just pump the brakes on 16 then. We'll just stop at 16.
Maybe we'll get done in 2 hours.
Maybe. I know. We've been finishing fast, actually. Not that you've been here because you've been laid up like a,
Like a gimp? Like a gimp whose stomach is sticking out of its stomach? Yeah.
Everyone, you guys are awesome to be here. Thank you.
Oh, MaTsDaGger, thank you.
MaTsDaGger.
All right, everyone.
Nomen Garden.
That's it.
Would that make me Tom
sorry.
Tom of Dragon Meat when I'm in my meat form?
Tom of Dragon.
I hope so.
Dragonfelt. I like that.
Tom of Dragonfelt.
It means things on many different levels.
Or Tom of Puppet Mount?
Puppet now. That's also a giggity moment right there.
Yeah, so I read this and someone in the chat read my mind. Don't forget to finger that like button as you come in. Drink. Right off the bat, drinking obligation. And chapter 12, by the way, maybe it was my headspace, maybe it was RJ's, but there are probably 5 or 6 drinking obligations in the first chapter.
Oh yeah.
There's not many in the others, but boy, it's loaded up.
Yeah, there's jerking off. There's a lot of things going on in this chapter.
There's a bunch of things, yeah.
There's coming on.
So many things. We're doing chapters 12 through 16 today. Chapter 12, 13, 14, and 15 are pretty much the girls.
Yeah.
The girls. Yeah.
There's a lot of characters though that we see. Like just in this first chapter, there's like seven characters, I think.
A lot of characters and even more POV changes, which happen generally later in the book for Robert Jordan. Here we have him on chapter like 14. There's a bunch of POV chapters. It's kind of cool.
There are.
So let's jump into it, I guess. Right? Ryan, is there anything we want to? How's your week been, guys? How was Tom? I heard you went to the Galapagos Islands this weekend.
Oh yes, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw a tortoise.
Yeah, just a tortoise.
Yep, just one though.
The last tortoise in
the last one that's in the Galapagos Islands. Yep.
Wow, that must be special.
And there was a little plaque there for what's his name, Darwin. Yeah.
Charles Darwin.
Yeah, from when he was there.
Josh, I heard you went to the Alamo. How was that?
Did you remember it?
Did you remember to go to the Alamo?
I forgot.
You didn't go? You forgot?
Yeah.
I made a reservation for you.
Classic.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just jump into it, I guess.
Looks like we already lost Ryan 5 minutes in.
He's trying to find somewhere to live, so it's all good.
He probably got a call from his agent.
Yep, he's super special right now.
This is a naive point of view chapter. It starts off. It's called Questions and Answers, and they're more or less the delegation, or I guess the embassy. What is it? The emissary. Tarnafir.
Emissary of the tower.
Yeah, she is meeting with the little tower. She's been there for like 3 days. And Nynaeve's trying to freaking listen in.
Yep. Tarna said I.
She's like, oh, yeah.
Let's so low as to literally listen at the windows.
They're like, Jesus. Yeah, they end up just listening at the window, but they tried the power. They're like, come on, Gideon. You said it works. She said it. I said it could work. Don't be dumb. Yeah, they're trying to hear what's going on. They're more or less concerned about Rand and about how the Saladar faction of the Aes Sedai are going to respond to the actual White Tower and what they're offering. Apparently, they're offering full amnesty. Come on in. Except for those who had true rebellion in your heart, you're all good. Come on back. And everyone's like, yeah.
True rebellion, so that means blue Aja, right?
Yeah, the blue, I guess.
So,
what if I felt rebellion in my knee?
You know what? Sometimes when I take the stairs,
it's Nebellion, not rebellion. So I think
okay.
Yeah. Ask your doctor if rebellion works for you.
So is this? There's like a feeling that I get from the characters about like communication, and I know that they're bad about interpersonal communication. Period.
That's putting it lightly.
In Robert Jordan's universe, but is this? I mean, I get it. Robert Jordan grew up before, instantaneous mechanisms of communication were a thing. I mean, I think that the telephone was obviously around when he was a child, but like, is this feeling of not knowing what your friends are doing like the FOMO of all history?
That's funny. Yeah, I guess so.
Funny. I mean, in the musical Hamilton, there's a song, "The Room Where It Happens," where Aaron Burr is lamenting that he cannot be in the conversation between Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and Alexander Hamilton. So yeah, it is FOMO. That is FOMO on a historical level. Sure.
It's just like Rand can theoretically go see any of these people with a gateway. Why doesn't he?
Well, he does.
He does talk about going to see Elaine in chapter 16, finally, but like,
no, he talks about seeing. Does he talk about seeing Elaine or Egwene? Is it Elaine?
Oh, maybe Egwene.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It's Egwene, not Elaine.
Yeah.
Oh, because he doesn't know where Elaine is because they're in Saladar hiding out. But he could. Yeah, it's like so much of the engine of the story comes from these unknowns that we know between the characters.
Yeah.
Josh, do we know that Rand is Rand aware of Saladar at this point? Do you think? And the break between the White Tower and everything like that? He doesn't seem to mention
when he encounters Alana and Varen, he tells them about the split in the tower and about the rebels.
Yeah, that's
he knows, but he doesn't know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
The only person, well, the tower and Pedro and Niall know where they are, but Rand doesn't yet. And it's like this game of cups, right? Where like they all have hidden information and they all have missing information.
Yeah.
And depending on who we're talking, and I'm not sure that I like that being the engine of the story.
Okay.
It doesn't leave, it leaves me frustrated more often than it leaves me feeling satisfied, which maybe is what Robert Jordan's going for with all the, jerking and...
Well, I mean, it's
Fingering.
it's the Game of Thrones, or the Game of Houses, rather. I'm sorry, not Game of Thrones. Game of Houses.
It's
writ large.
Oh, it is the Game of Thrones too. Yes.
Yeah. But you don't know who to trust necessarily. I mean, we see that implicitly with Nynaeve and Elaine. They don't know who is Black Aja. They don't know what their allegiance is to Rand. Not necessarily to these Aes Sedai, and so they don't know who the fuck to trust in any of this,
Yeah, they're torn in so many different directions too. They want to trust the Aes Sedai, but then they think they can. They think they can't. They're torn between, does Rand know better? Does he not know better?
Is he mad?
Yeah.
Well, and Nynaeve actually does. Nynaeve does open up a little bit later on. She does open up to Sheriam as far as like, all right, hey, we did some dream snooping, #dream snoop. And there's a bowl, Terangrial something in Ebudar.
Right.
Ryan's having technical difficulties, Glenn.
Yeah, no, Ryan's is a tech monster right now. And I mean, and that doesn't turn out well for them. Sheriam's like, well, you're accepted, so you have to stay here.
Right.
No way.
I know we'll get there eventually, but the bit in chapter 16 where we find out about Guitarra and Rand's mom and his relationship to possibly Elaine is all very fascinating.
Yeah. We also hear a name mentioned in that chapter that we've heard before. I want to see if you can place it. Luck, or Tigraine's brother, also disappeared around the same time.
Luck.
Yeah, Luck, Luke, L-U-C.
Luke.
Yeah,
I got you, buddy. I got you, Glenn.
I don't remember where we heard it before, but I did recall it being familiar.
Okay. Well, we'll get to there. Let's stay with the girls here.
Okay.
It's Nynaeve is stuck, so they're doing like teacher's aid stuff.
Yeah.
They're teaching. Elaine takes off with the bracelet, and Moghedien is kind of challenging Nynaeve a little bit. She's like, why don't you just you just go to Rand? What are you doing here? They're going to figure this shit out. And Nynaeve herself is later like the boys, the traumatized twin boys that they said was Maragon's kids, obviously are not. They are no longer traumatized. They've snapped out of it. They're attacking and playing and laughing and jumping. They got out of their comatose state. The catatonic, I guess, state.
Yeah, and they're playing hoops and running around and
playing hoops. And Nynaeve is like, "Oh shit, someone's going to ask about their mom," and they're like, "Yeah, that ain't her."
Oh, they're talking now. Yeah. Tom, Lord Luke.
There you go.
Sorry. We'll get there. I know. We'll get there.
I think you're doing great. So but Moghedien does know that she is a slave. She mentions, quote, slavery there, referring to wherever Rand is better than death here.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah. And the points she makes are pretty good points. She's go ahead.
She's a master manipulator, so.
She is a master manipulator. However, she is correct in that these
Guarding Clutch.
Women,
it's Luke. It is Luke.
Luke, yeah.
Clutch.
Luke Mantier. Mentira.
Let's see. So they she's like, all right, well, you hang out here, Mogideon, you can't leave. Bye. Goes and does her thing. There's let me see. I'm sorry.
I did like this bit about the bracelet for the Adam, like the distance, the proximity is the reverse, the inverse proximity of the bracelet gives more or less control over Mogideon's outburst, basically, is what Nynaeve kind of puts 2 and 2 together.
Okay, so the further they are away with the bracelet, the less control they have.
Yeah, let's see. The bracelet was not in the room. A ball of ice formed in the pit of her stomach. Blah, blah, blah. Logically, whether the bracelet was there or not made no difference. But Nynaeve had never been alone with the woman without the bracelet there. Or rather, the only time she had it ended in total disaster.
Yeah, it sounds like she's afraid because, like, there's nothing stopping Mogideon.
Again, we don't know if this is trustworthy narration or not.
That's
but
true.
It's an interesting interpretation of the situation in Nynaeve's own perspective, right?
She's kind of hoping that Mogideon doesn't know boxing or taekwondo or something.
Right. The last time she met with Mogideon, Mogideon was not collared. And so she does have that kind of little PTSD of I wish I had the bracelet. So I
one of the chosen trying to kill her. Yeah.
Correct.
That would give me PTSD too.
So Nynaeve is supposed to go take notes. Like, I don't know what it is. They're supposed to write down shit.
Are you serious? Yes. I mean, it would be odd if not.
All right, Lord Luke. And we'll get to him. But the women, the Aes Sedai, have no interest in letting her write. They're just there to freaking grill Nynaeve about more or less about Rand al'Thor.
Yeah. She feeds
There's
us some misinformation too.
All right, so I'm going to just say a couple lines here, and you tell me yes or no if this is a drinking obligation. All right, I'm gonna bust out like 3 of them because they're all pretty close. And let me get the GIF up. All right, so we have set it, yeah. Quote: hung properly to the waist.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I like that one.
Okay. All right, we have that. Next. Quote: unshaven man with his nose in a mug.
An unshaven man. That one works.
Unshaven man. All right. All right. Drink.
Fun fact, that's not me.
The mouth of a narrow alley between two. ... The mouth of a narrow alley.
Is that like another name for a vagina?
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? Because then it goes deeper into the narrow alley.
Yeah, gotta go. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, bloomed on her face.
Wow.
That's a good one.
That's a good
one.
What
about well set up fellow?
I think that I noticed that one.
I've been called worse by better.
Too direct.
2 on the nose. Let's see.
His name is Uno.
Wow.
Sorry.
Nynaeve is like, hey, she sees Birgitte, and she's like, hey, Birgitte. Oh, by the way, Birgitte has like a little sidekick now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of her?
Birgitte and Robin.
Ariana.
You bet, little buddy.
I have to admit, I was in Nynaeve's point of view firmly in this chapter when I read it. So I didn't really read it too objectively. So I think she's a bitch.
I mean, is she just someone who just admires Brigitte and is like trying? I mean, all these chapters here that we read are more or less
the way
cultural
I see
preparations going on all over the place.
The way I see it is this: you're in a village with a bunch of Aes Sedai. All the other women there are boning up to power. The power. It's even called the power, but power, social, political, and otherwise. Social, political, etc.
Yeah.
Brigitte is a woman of power without the one power. So it makes sense that of the people who can't channel in the village, that they would look up to Brigitte.
But why? I mean, as far as we know, she's just the friend of two accepted. No one knows that
she carries herself. I mean, she's a fucking hero of the Horn. She has a presence. Okay. I mean, the way I read her, not just like her interactions with men and with the other characters and her sense of humor, but she has like a presence about her, a sense of power and identity, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
Fullness of existential fullness of herself, right?
Okay.
That like we don't really see in any of these other characters, particularly like the Nynaeves and the more so with Elaine, because she was raised to be, maybe snobbish isn't the right word, but full of her own sense of self-worth.
Well, I mean, to be a queen, you kind of have to project that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Brigitte is just she in a town full of women who can channel. She is the non-channeling archetype pinnacle of the powerful identity, and therefore she attracts
gravitas.
Yeah, there's a gravitas, exactly, and she attracts those women who can't channel to her because of that, right?
Oh wow! Okay. Sorry, Glenn. That's I like that. That's good. Katie Sackhoff is Brigitte. I like that.
I don't know.
Brigitte.
I don't know. What we know of Brigitte from Nynaeve is she seeks her out where the kids are. Brigitte seems to just kind of like hanging out and watching kids play. And no one knows that she is a warder. She's just kind of hanging out. And she is attracted to at least one admirer. This girl, Arian, Arian.
Mr. Howley thinks that. I think he's talking about Brigitte is TAVERN.
What do you think, Josh?
Oh, I thought that was TAVERN, like Halloween. Yeah,
I can decipher it. I could decipher it.
We've talked about this before. I do think the heroes of the Horn are TAVERN, or at least are TAVERN adjacent. Right? They're now, whether that is true with this kind of incarnation, where Brigitte kind of didn't incarnate, well, we don't really know. Like, it seems like this is an off-brand incarnation of a hero of the Horn, but maybe the pattern needed it to happen this way this time for some reason that we don't understand. And this is the way that she was incarnate, rather than as a baby,
born and growing up,
her whole life and entangled with her lover, et cetera, right? I mean, that's like kind of the beauty and the frustration of these stories is like, you can't know and can't separate that without a lot of after information.
No.
Right. So, if you think logically that a hero of the Horn gets ripped out of DragonReader and thrown in, that the pattern would bend around it, right? Mm-hmm. Would accommodate that situation. Hence TAVERN. Yeah, that's a good. Oh, you got some more Cold Rock's Hold?
This is it's a variation on a last word. called a tongue twister, but this is a variation on the tongue twister doesn't have chartreuse.
Yay.
It has a different herbal liqueur as the herbal base.
Can we call it the Old Tongue?
Sure.
All right. I like that.
That was my stage name for a while.
Really? That's my forename.
Nah.
The Old
Here comes
Tongue.
the Old Tongue.
A wild Ryan has appeared.
Hi, Ryan. I'm glad you're back.
Having issues, guys. Working them out.
I miss that mustache.
There is another drinking obligation, guys. I'm just going to say it aloud. You tell me if this suits. Quote, Nynaeve had to swallow twice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with Lan, why? How couldn't you?
Yeah. Oh,
Ryan.
so
He's been frustrated for a long time, poor guy.
fire hose. All right, Slanja. All right. So yeah, the two Aes Sedai are just like, all right, turns out we don't have shit for any of you to. Hi, Ryan. I see your face so well. There you go. And they're like, oh, you're doing awesome with this thing. You're making so much stuff. It's getting a little sussy.
Sussy. I like that word.
Sussy. And then she goes off and does her little thing with what's her name? What's it?
Theodrin?
Theodrin. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. I got you, buddy. I got you.
No, I guess actually that's the next chapter. But so the end of this chapter.
No, she goes off with Theodrin at the end of this chapter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But Nynaeve is
Theodrin
spying.
catches her. He's dropping eaves.
Yeah, dropping eaves. Nice. Dropping eaves. She happened to hear at the window, and it says, I mean, it pretty much. They said, the hall. Do not believe me blind to where power lies. The so-called hall thinks what you six tell them to think, and this is what the embassy was saying.
Well, hang on. There's an important bit at the very last sentence of chapter 12.
Yeah, I'm still on it.
Neither saw. Oh, you are okay.
Yeah. So she's listening in.
Oh, this is before she goes out to talk to all the people. Okay, got it.
Right. And they're like, yeah, well, we don't know. We're going to see. All right, cool. And then what's her name finds her? The apple-cheeked Domani woman.
Mm-hmm.
Is Theodrin. And then they walk away. But yeah, at the very end, read it, Josh.
Neither saw the woman watching them from a second-story window.
What woman is this?
I wish I knew. I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, she was caught spying by Theodrin. Theodrin just brushes it off and is like, "I'm gonna break your bond or your block if it's the last thing I do."
Josh, if you had to guess though, who would you guess it was?
I don't
It's a
have
woman,
a guess.
at least. So we have that.
I really don't have a guess. I tried to think about like who we know lives on the second floor of that house, and I couldn't think of anyone.
Yeah.
It's a woman, so it can't be. I mean, I guess maybe Swan or Leanne. Maybe.
Okay.
Right on.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Chapter 13, Under the Dust, it's called, and it's Nynaeve, right, a continuation. She and Theodrin are going, and Theodrin's going to break this damn block. She's...
That was rough.
She dumped water. Go ahead.
Glenn asked if that was if Tarna was one of the Aes Sedai. This is actually the first time we're meeting Tarna. Is here in Lord of Chaos. This is the first time we meet her. I think. Yeah, pretty sure.
I'm not.
Oh no, New Spring. Well, technically, I guess we wouldn't have met her yet because New Spring didn't come out yet. But yeah, no, she was in New Spring. She was in New Spring.
She was right.
But the girls have not met her.
No.
Before she kicks in their door with air.
No.
Okay.
Wait, who is this?
Tarna Sedai, the emissary
Tarna, right?
from Elida. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna remove you. I'm just seeing your face.
We were also getting crazy feedback from you, Ryan. I muted you real quick. Sorry. Any hoozles. So the next chapter is what is it? Questions and answers was 12. So this one is under the dust.
This is Theodrin trying to break Nynaeve. She drenched her in water. She's gonna try to make her stay up all night. She's like, we gotta break it. We just gotta put you through trauma, enough trauma, the right trauma. And I'm gonna try every trauma that I know. So don't sleep tonight. We're gonna break this bitch.
We also is this when she tells us what her block was too in this chapter?
Yes.
Yeah,
her block was she couldn't channel with her eyes closed. Right?
With her eyes open.
Oh, she had to close her eyes to channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Was she the one with the never mind.
I thought she was the one with the blockage about men.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was gonna say was she was the one where she has to have a man in the room with her.
Oh, that's the same one.
They tricked her with the twin sister.
Yeah, with the twin sister. Yeah. That's this chapter, right? Where they talk about that?
No.
That was a while ago that we learned. That was last show.
Oh, man. Okay.
She says, "I'm a wilder too,
you
know." Here, let me read it. She said, offended is it? Why? Because I called you a wilder? I'm a wilder too, you know. Galena Kazban beat my block out of me herself. She knew my Aja long before I did and took a personal interest in me. She always does those things she thinks will choose red. She says, I understand Theodrin is using gentler methods with you. So it's not Theodrin we're talking about. It is actually
Tarna.
Tarna.
Tarna was also a wilder.
Right. And so I think it was she damn it, that she couldn't channel. One of them is
with the eyes open and one of them was the man. I think
Theodrin was the one about the men.
Yeah, and Tarna was the one with the eyes open.
Right, because that wouldn't make sense for a red to have an issue with men.
Tarna, she needed to have her eyes closed to be able to channel.
Yes, the hours I spent howling and weeping before I could find Saidar without my eyes shut tight. You cannot weave if you cannot see the flows. Okay, yeah, I was wrong.
Sense, aren't they in your mind?
Well,
you see the flows with your eyes open? Come on.
Yeah, no, they could actually see. No, yeah, channelers see them like physically in the world.
Right.
Come on.
And they're weaving them. Yeah.
This was a big thing about the show too, because the way they depicted the channeling in the show.
That's bad.
That sucks. No, this is what they see. They see air and fire.
No, you should be able to see it with your fucking mind too.
Depends on how you're taught.
Visually see it.
She probably could though, because of her block. So she probably has a skill where, she can channel with her eyes closed because that's how she kind of learned how to channel it in the first place. But it all depends on how you're trained.
Dumb. If that's true that you can't see them in your mind's eye, it's fucking dumb. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think if you blindfold them, then they don't see any weaves. They don't even. They're innocent as babes.
That's fucking stupid. That's gonna make me. That's like bordering on making me not want to read the rest of the series.
Wait,
what is so fucking dumb?
What is? I'm confused.
Well, maybe she could. I don't know. I mean, it says that she can channel with her eyes closed
in their mind's eye.
Well, I'm sure some of them can. Not all of them.
Well, I mean, she can find side art without
see to do magic. That's ridiculous.
No, that's just what they think. They also think you need to use hand motions for some things, and you need to use
like Brand and the Forsaken don't do that shit, right?
Yeah.
How would healers see flows inside the body? That's very good point.
Inside their mind's eye, the same way you visualize energy when you're meditating or on psychedelics. Like, why? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, but maybe the White Tower is like, hey, bitch, eyes open. And she's like, I don't do that. And they're like, you must. And broke her of it. I mean, it could have been that. We don't really know. I mean, she was a wilder. She could embrace the source.
Is the representation in the show, Tom, meant to be that everyone can see their flows?
Not the flows, but something. They could see something. Which is why, not the actual individual
trails of Moiraine doing the hand motions in the show are meant to be things everyone can see.
Well, Josh, we see
they're
an
objective perception.
Josh, we see that Rand makes a gateway, and he's like, "You should have." And he tells Taim, he's like, "I just made a gateway. Hopefully, you picked that up. You saw."
Right. I'm assuming by detecting the fucking flows with their ability in their mind's eye, not visually.
But they use the term. I hope you saw what I did.
Right, but that's what we use because we're visual creatures.
Yeah, I personally, I think it's both. We also have seen at this point Nynaeve trying to like look at Suan and Liane. They're stilling, and she says like, "Oh, I see something cut there" or whatever. When she looks at it.
But she's visualizing.
She's visualizing it. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I was going to say. She's visualizing because she can't see it inside their body. She channels into their body.
So it's like that's inconsistent. If it has to be visual and it is something that non-channelers can see when you weave. First off, non-channelers should not be able to see it.
They can't. Not in the books. In the books, when people are channeling at each other, it just looks like people are staring at each other.
That's what I thought. Like if someone walked in the room when Nynaeve and Mogideon were fighting,
they would have just been staring at each other intently.
Staring at each other, right?
Yeah, right. But another
fact,
channeler could see it.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, but they don't have to see it with their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They would be able to
perceive it. I mean, it should be, the word should be perceive, but we're visual creatures, so we say see.
Yeah. Can a blind person channel?
I certainly hope so.
Of course they can.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking.
I don't know.
I certainly hope so.
They have to direct the weaves though somewhere. They talk about directing weaves and they talk about the intricacies of and the colors. Like it's clearly like something that
when you close your eyes, you can see colors. You can visualize colors.
It's all about
hallucinate colors. Like
it's all about the training. It's all about, like if you are blind forever and you learn how to channel as a blind person, then you can channel blind.
So Josh,
but if you go blind, then you'll have to relearn how to channel.
So Josh, basically every time they talk about this phenomenon happening, they use see, and they use it throughout the books up to the point that we're at. You're now claiming that Robert Jordan means in the mind's eye.
I read it as visualizing, not seeing with.
Okay. Hashtag Josh Grox.
Well, I mean, and Josh Grox is right. I mean, because there are weaves that are done that they are using some sort of temporal way that to know what's going on, like healing, like probing the mind of that wolf brother was too far. I mean, Moiraine just like put her hands on his head and was like, yeah, there's nothing there.
Right.
So there's got to be some way that they can sense things. But yeah, for the most part, it does seem like these weaves are visual.
Hey, man.
Anyways.
It's headcanons be strong.
We'll have to just, I think we'll, for Josh's sake, we'll just pick out a lot of the channeling parts from now on and see what we could decipher.
Right. No, I like. That's not a bad thing, actually. To see what is done via the mind and what is done like visually, you know. Yeah, I love that. So what's her name? Tarna busts in. Says, "What's that noise?" Tarna, you're just jealous. It's the Beastie Boys.
Wow.
Dun, 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 dun. Wait, what riff is that?
You gotta fight before you're right.
Busted doors.
Channel.
What did you say, Tom?
Busting doors.
Oh yeah, they did do that. There's a lot of busting into things in those videos. Remember Aerosmith and Run DMC? Bust through the wall?
Yeah. Yep.
The Kool-Aid Man busted through shit all the time?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fat Boys, I think they busted a chair on a video one time, sitting on it.
Fat Boys. I was talking about Fat Boys not long ago. Oh my god! Their movie that came out in like 91 or 90. What
was that hair band whose videos? All the videos were them just beating up some weird white dude who wore plaid shirts and didn't deserve it. He's like, "Turn it down," and they're like, "What?" And all of a sudden, like they just started throwing around the house. Like, come on, big curly white hair.
Sister, what is it?
Every video is this. It's like a motif. That guy got famous.
I want to rock.
Yeah. Yes. What are you gonna do with your life?
Yeah. Sister Christian? Well, no. What the?
Okay. Yeah. Right.
I don't know. So anyway,
I'm shocked. Chat is not helping us out right now.
I'll figure it out. I'll remember. I gotta steal trap.
Tarna also is trying to coax. That's the word, coax. My brain was like coaxial, and that's not the right word. she's trying to coax Elaine to leaving Saladar and coming back with her to the tower. At the beginning,
and she makes good points. She's like, "You won't be an Aes Sedai if you hang out with these bitches. We're the ones with the Oath Rod. We're the ones with the tradition. You got to come back to the White Tower if you want to be an Aes Sedai. You're just going to be an accepted forever," which is dookie.
Yes, MaTsDaGgerX it was. Yes, I forgot about that.
And she's like, and by the way, I mean, your association with Roniel Thor is a good thing for you with the White Tower. Yeah. We're here to help him, man. And no, seriously, we respect. He's the dragon. Yeah. He needs to go to Tarmogoyf. We get it.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I don't believe them. Not for a second.
And Tarna leaves. Nynaeve's like, "We gotta get the fuck out of here." Elaine's like, "No, we stay and wait for the tower decision." Nynaeve's like, "This is dumb." She's like, "No, we should stay." And Brigitte ain't going if Elaine ain't going. And Elaine's like, "We should at least wait for Tom and Julian to come back and then make a decision maybe then."
It was frighteningly easy for Moghedien to persuade Nynaeve into thinking leaving was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, guys, tell me yes or no. It's a simple question. Is quote Nynaeve snuggled into her small pillow with a tiny sigh?
I think it's pushing it a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, that.
I mean, I my mind went there.
I mean, just because you got reacted.
No,
I mean, I don't want to know what you do with your pillow at night. All right, that's That's between you and the pillow.
Well, I mean, we are like linked genetically to pillows.
Yeah,
we're closer to pillows than human.
I mean, now if Rand snuggled into his pillow a little bit, yes.
Guys, have you really thought about this? We are closer to pillows than we are to humans.
Oh man.
I mean,
yeah,
I guess you're right. Yeah.
We're closer to calf cans.
I kind of feel like a pillow.
All right, quote. Put your chin down. Is that it? Is that it? Is
what?
Put your chin down?
I think you have some strange fetishes, brother Dan.
I don't.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
No judgment.
It's
observation.
I'm seriously what the context were only negative, brother Dan.
Wow.
You've been on point lately, but the put your chin down. That.
Ouch.
I'm not.
Yeah, no.
I know it's a Rorschach test. Every one of these, we learn more and more about brother Dan.
I know. You know, no one's ever said, "Hey, can you put your chin down?" It never. All right.
Put your chin down. Excuse me. Can you put your chin down? Where would you like me to put it? Just down on that table over there.
Put it down, would you?
Don't look me in the eye. Put your chin down. Don't look me in the eye.
So they leave. Theoden leaves. Gareth Byrne is just sitting in the middle of the fucking town with his dick out, just making sure everyone knows he's there.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he's set up
worried.
like a lawn chair. He has like he's tanning himself. He has like the foil.
He's eating lunch in front of the thing.
He's rubbing butter on his face and stuff. He's like, "Hey, ladies." He's that guy.
Well, he's pretty worried, right, Josh? Like that's really what it is.
Yeah, it is.
So
he's worried because what's going to happen to him in the army if the Aes Sedai decide to call it quits and rejoin the tower? They're not going to be just, oh, okay, it's cool that you guys formed an army. Everything's great.
Exactly. This is do or die for him.
Mm-hmm.
And
his men. He's worried about his men too.
Right. And I don't know if they're being really upfront.
And if they're being as cloistered, if they're being as closed off with Bryn as they are with the Accepted, I'm sure he doesn't feel particularly good.
Yeah, for sure.
Nynaeve and Elaine go to sleep, do the need trick. Need. I need this. Pshoom, flick. Nah, I need more. Flick. I'm in a storeroom. This is weird. Flick. Oh, my hand is touching exactly what I am looking for. Turns out to be
seems pretty cheatery. It's like a cheatery way.
I feel like it's so statistically, you're gonna wind up in the middle of a wall. Why not? How is it possible that you're never just like, oh, my leg is in a chair, split right through?
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't one of those Dark Friends chests that have teeth and a tongue and will bite you.
It's a mimic.
Dark Souls?
It's a mimic.
Yeah, the mimic. Yeah.
All right, guys. Quote. Nynaeve reached out and her hand came down on something hard and rounded, covered with crumbling cloth.
Oh. Well, I mean, that you're gonna get pregnant if it's crumbling. That's all I got to say.
Drink. Case Aes Sedai.
I miss that
Thank
face.
you, Kay.
Look at that face.
I miss her.
Me too.
And they're like, all right, there's a triangle on here. Boom. And they figure out that it's an Abu Dar.
I think it's funny that they run into Elaine, which we get validation of later.
Egwene.
Or sorry, Egwene. Yeah, Elaine and Nynaeve run into Egwene.
And she pieces the fuck out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. So
it's like bonk.
Is Abu Dara in the civilization where we know they collected. It's like there was 2 collections of Angreal. The largest is in the White Tower, and the second largest was in like another civilization.
Here.
Was it in Tier?
Because they collected that's where they found the redstone doorway and all that other stuff. But there was also the huge collection in
another place.
There was another one in
where was
Meridian.
that collection?
And there was the collection of Meridian too, but no one knew about that one.
Yeah,
that Nynaeve and Mogideon tore up. Where was that?
Which one?
The one where
Nynaeve
and Mogideon.
In the museum in
Tanchico.
Tanchico,
where they had some Angreal there, I think, too.
Yeah.
And that was where the Mercedes.
Tier was the end of Dragon Reborn. That's where, Kalendor is.
Yeah.
The Tyrian lords locked up anything they thought had to do with the power.
So where is Ibudara in relation to Ter and...
Actually, I think it's... Is it here? Yeah. Hold on. I think I have a better map with it. But it's it's by my hand right here. Let me make my... Hold on. Let me get my warder cloak so we can see the map better. Get my water cloak on. Okay. Yeah, so Ebudar is right here. Right in the middle of the screen. You can kind of see where my hand is. It's right there. Ebudar.
Kind of like crotch level?
Yeah, it's about crotch level. It's down there.
It's a coastal town.
Chin down.
Chin down, yeah. Sorry.
Ebudar, I see. It's at the bottom. It's at the bottom.
It looks, it's near where like Louisiana would be if Louisiana was more west.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ebudar is right there, and then that's pretty far west of Tier, and it's west of Tanchico where they were in the last one. Mm-hmm. Water cloak's hot.
He emerges.
That water cloak is hot. It's warm.
That's great.
Well, we hear, according to Nynaeve, it's about a 3 days boat ride from Saladar to Ebudar. They want to stay in Ebudar.
The salad bar?
From the salad bar?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know what, guys? What are your opinions of Olive Garden? Like 1 to 10. Seriously.
0.
What?
Last time I went, I was...
-5.
It was disgusting.
Oh, no, guys.
I am Italian and I cook my own food. Olive Garden
Josh.
It went downhill. It used to be good.
As a teenager, I loved going to get bottomless minestrone and breadsticks. That's like a 3 out of 10 kind of.
No. You go to any Olive Garden in the country, you're getting the same consistency. You get free soup and salad and breadsticks. You order an entree. You bring that stuff home. You just eat salad and soup and breadsticks.
Is it a good deal,
and
or
you have
does
a
it
meal
taste
for
good?
2 days? It's
because those are two different answers.
They're 2 different things. It's true.
Is Sizzler still a thing?
I hope not.
I haven't heard Sizzler. All right. Anyway,
I cook my own food.
Always? You've never eaten out?
I don't like to, like especially Olive Garden. I'd rather go to I
haven't been to an Olive Garden since I was like 18.
For real. I try to avoid those chain restaurants if I can.
Well, all right. So the all-you-can-eat never-ending pasta bowl was coming out right around my birthday every year. So I would go and get the never-ending pasta bowl.
Okay. No one hate. You can do that.
You know.
I'll cook real Italian food for you if you ever come down here.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yes, please. All right, guys. Quote. Pausing for a moment to finger Land's thick gold ring.
There you go. To finger Land, period. You have to take it out of context.
Finger Land.
Period.
All right. Finger Land. All right. Yeah.
It's perfect. That's the point of the out of context.
So Nynaeve does not sleep because she still wants to break this damn block. And that's kind of the end of the chapter. Is they get out of, Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah.
What did I miss in this, Josh?
Not much in this chapter. This chapter is pretty much just Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah. We'll jump right into chapter 14 then, which is an Egwene point of view.
Well, there was this little pillow friends bit. I do not know. Elaine stopped to muffle a yawn behind her hand. This is Nynaeve's perspective. How could the woman manage to look pretty yawning with her hair a mess and a red wrinkle from her pillow marring one cheek?
Yeah.
That was a secret Aes Sedai ought to investigate.
What? Yeah. Why you're getting a little wet looking at Elaine? You need the one power to investigate that.
I read that as her being jealous that like Elaine has to put so little effort into looking good.
It is jealousy, but it's also
she's freaking hot.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's good to get confirmation just how hot Elaine is. I mean, when we're talking about things, we're talking about a cute girl. So I would say like she's probably a 10. I would say she's probably a 10. Yeah. Guys in chat, I'm sorry, persons in chat.
Humans in chat.
Is Elaine a 10? And if Elaine's a 10, what is Bearlain or
Bearlain's like a 50
Lanfear
out of 10. Lanfear's 1,000 out of 10.
Well, Lanfear as she presents herself to you, or the real Lanfear?
Oh.
Well, the real Lanfear is super hot. Like,
right, but she presents herself as like even hotter.
Yeah, I wonder how much she.
All right, we got an 11.
I agree.
All right, Village Mattress says she's a 9.
I was thinking more 9. Also,
a Cleveland 9.
A Cleveland 9.
Cleveland 9.
That unfortunately is his thing, man. where it's like, oh, she's hot, but I mean, is she LA hot? Is she New York hot?
Oh, I see. A Cleveland 9.
It's a Cleveland 9. It's like a Santa Cruz 7.
She's in LA too.
All right, chapter 14, Dreams and Nightmares. This is Egwene.
Egwene and Nynaeve.
What's that?
This is the split chapter. It's Egwene and Nynaeve.
Right. We start with Egwene, and this is Josh where you get confirmation that she did bolt. She's like, yoink! I saw my girls, and I don't want to get involved right now. Name's Paul. That's between y'all. You do you. I'm gonna do me right now.
Yeah, I don't. And this is again where I start to get like, I don't like this engine of the book. Like,
it's just of them keeping secrets from each other.
Yeah, like why do you got to be so? It's like she's perfectly willing. Well, not willing, but like willing to risk it in order to be caught by a dreamwalker, but she's not willing to go talk to her two friends.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why she doesn't want to see Elaine and Nynaeve like there. Like, it's not like she's going to get in trouble for this.
She avoids them in the same way she avoids
the wise
Swan and
Swan, yeah.
Swan and Leanne. Like,
guys, have you ever been in a grocery store and you see someone you know, like a neighbor, and you're like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to him, but like, fuck, man, I don't want to.
I mean, that's a little different though. Literally somebody I grew up with. Like if it was like a friend of mine that I grew up with.
I'm like, oh man, I think that guy's getting some shrimp. He's talking to the guy. All right, I'm gonna go over to the bread aisle. Oh,
you dive behind the eggplants.
Man, I do the old Irish goodbye. No one sees me.
Is that where you drink a lot and punch them in the face?
Yeah, but then But then I hug their brother and marry their sister, and yeah, all that. So this is Egwene. Egwene, she bolts when she sees her friends, but she doesn't go back to her body. She goes, we're going to talk just a tiny bit about what the fuck, where is she, Josh? She calls it, quote, the infinity between Tel'aran'rhiod and the waking world, the narrow gap between dream and reality.
I loved getting final, because we talked about this so much in previous seasons, previous books, but this is the place Perrin went with the picture, the dream frames underneath him, presumably, although it looks different to a wolf dreamer than it does
why is that?
A dream walker.
To her it looks like stars,
right, and that's how the dream walkers
it looked like windows
related it, but for Perrin, he could see directly into each dream without touching them. Just by flying over.
Well, hold on. If he had peeked into Fael's dream, would he have got sucked in?
I think he does get sucked into Fael's dream one time, didn't he?
No, I don't know.
I thought there was a dream where he
that was when she touched that dream ter'angreal, and
there was a time where they did it in their dreams, in his dream.
Right. No, I remember what you're saying, Josh. I don't know if
I don't remember exactly the context either. I'm sorry, I might be getting it mixed up.
Right.
The other thing that you have to remember is that Perrin, the wolves are like
they're there
naturally part of Tel'aran'rhiod too. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing, is it's different. It's not like they're not dream walking. They're like part of them lives in the Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah. And therefore
they just become conscious of it, presumably, when they're in the wolf dream.
Does that mean like part of Perrin, like since Perrin's a wolf brother, is that like is he a step above the Aiel wise ones in the sense of, is he a step above dreamwalkers, just
right
as a wolf?
Right. Yeah, I think in terms of power it would be like wolf dreamer, dreamwalker, person with Angreal.
Okay.
Person who enters the TAR arbitrarily as a part of sleep, kind of
by accident. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Can someone who just dreams without having the power and be in the, do they enter this void
I don't
area?
think so. I think you transit this without recognizing. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's like an interstitial space that is only accessible to...
Interstitial, that's a good one.
Because she describes the disembodiment that Perrin describes as well.
Yeah.
There is no body, there is no up and down, there is no sense of self. I mean, there's a sense of mental self, psychological self, but not, there's a sense of identity, but not a sense of corporeality.
Okay. Yeah. And she confirms that by saying she would have smiled if she had a mouth. Her stomach would have turned if she had a tummy.
If she had
she has no body. She's aware right off the bat that she is just
formless and floating.
She is just consciousness without corporeal reality. Yeah.
In the recognition bit that she talks about too, I was thinking about that in contrast to Perrin, right? Where, like, if you think about it as like having 20/20 vision versus having like just approprioception of like forms and shapes, it's like the Dreamwalker, they can recognize other people's dreams because, in a sense, if they had 20/20 vision in this area, they could see the content of the dreams.
Okay.
right? Like Perrin knows whose dreams they are and can recognize them because he can see the content without touching them.
Okay.
In theory, the Dreamwalker maybe is perceiving that same thing, but without actually being able to see the content. That was the only way I could like harmonize that part of it for myself. I have a lot of notes in this section. This is a really cool. I'm glad that we came back here and got to visit it.
TAVERN and the way the different characters interact with TAVERN is interesting.
Yeah,
and this chapter gets really dreamy. Like,
ooh, that was good too.
Yeah, hey, like ethereal.
I love how it's described as the ocean. The ocean of the in-between, basically. Like a lot of fish metaphors and like the spatial nature of it as well, where it is both spatially related and not at the same time. Like
because she moves too. She has the sense of moving closer and further and
right.
Well, she doesn't move. Things move around her.
Well, she's not sure. Yeah.
But
it's the sense of movement.
But what I loved about that was it was described the same way as movement through Tel'aran'rhiod.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the same uncertainty was conveyed here as we talked about in the previous show. Tom, you weren't here, but in the previous chapters, we talked through that in Tel'aran'rhiod itself as they moved through it, not knowing whether the Tel'aran'rhiod bent around them or they moved through it, right? And we talked about how for the Wolf Dreamer, for Perrin, he literally feels like he's stepping through space, right? Their relationship to the physicality of the Tel'aran'rhiod environment is different. Like when he was chasing Lord Luke /
Isam
Slayer,
right? There was the description of it was very physical and like involved these like stretching their
bounding
legs
over mountains
and like you know, this like scaling transformation that we don't get from the way that the Dreamwalkers and the Aes Sedai dreamers with the Angreals describe their experience of it, right?
Yeah.
But you don't see people, going back to the comment that was made earlier by Ryan, you don't see people just like walking through walls in Tel'aran'rhiod, right? They go through the door.
Yeah.
And how much of that is human
habit,
pattern and habit versus what's possible? I don't know.
That's a good point.
Well, if the characters are to be believed at this point, anything that you imagine can be done in TAVERN.
Right, right.
But it takes a level of belief in what you're doing, a will, and you know, to do things that are so out of character like that takes a strong will and a strong mental.
And
image.
this is exemplified in this chapter when when Egwene gets pulled into Gawain's dream. There's these flicks, you know,
very flickery, right? Like
with her, and I don't know, the way I interpret it is that each flick was her getting deeper into the dream, you know,
like the dream kind of like resetting, you know, which they do,
and we do have that loop.
For the human too.
Gently, Gawain laid her down on a cloak already spread there on the hillside in a manner of things and dreams. Kneeling beside her, he brushed a strand of hair from her cheek, let his fingers trail back to the corner of her mouth. We hear that paragraph 3 times.
Right.
Yeah, because Gawain keeps resetting it.
He's like, no, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And then does it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, no, dummy. No, dummy, duh. Let me try that again. Take 2 and action.
All right. Well, the only other bit about this first couple pages is the non-human, non-Earth dreams. I think I was like, fuck yeah. finally a little more validation about this idea of like there being other worlds, right?
Yeah. Guys, quote, "I knew you would come," she breathed.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Guys, it's not me. It's in the books. And I hope everyone in the chat is participating as much as you're able to. And I hope you subscribe and hit the like button if you haven't already. We appreciate it. That's internet currency. And she says, "I love you, you sweet idiot. I love you." And she goes to town. She embraces.
She gives in.
Quote, yeah. She
yeah.
felt the barrier vanishing, had a moment to realize she did not care. And then there was only one Egwene again, and Egwene who happily twined her arms around Gawain's.
So, I mean, other than the Gawain dream, you know, I think she sees a Leanne and she sees Swan, doesn't know who they are, is afraid they're dark friends, but doesn't encounter, you know, because they look.
So that's who those people are?
Yeah, they're described in a way, women who did not, she didn't look like an Aes Sedai. She had lost that agelessness. But, okay, here, so. She studied a stable that was seemed freshly painted blue. Whoever she was, she had not dreamed herself into Tel'aran'rhiod for a moment by accident. She didn't vanish the way a casual dreamer did. And she appeared to be made of mist, using a ter'angreal, obviously, which meant she was almost certainly Aes Sedai. The willowy woman had not been Aes Sedai long, though. Quite beautiful, wearing a scandalously thin dress. She appeared Nynaeve's age, not ageless. So that's Leanne. And then
there were too many strangers in the
sturdily pretty woman who moved with a purposeful stride, blue-eyed and with a determined face. I assume that was Swan, or maybe I'm getting them vice versa.
Swan does have blue eyes.
She does. Okay,
yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and Leanne is the copper skin.
Domani.
And she seems solid, not carved from fog. And we know that Swan was using the real ring.
The real one, yeah.
So.
And I think Dan froze. Yep. All right. So it's just me and you, Josh. Anyway, yeah. So no, you had it right though. The coppery skinned one in the scantily clad dress is definitely Leanne.
It was Leanne, right?
Yeah. The fierce looking one is for sure Swan.
I wasn't sure what to make of her catching glimpses of Rand, Perrin, and Lan half seen out of the corner of her eye. But I underlined that and wrote important question.
Say again?
Quote, she thought she had caught glimpses of Rand, of Perrin, even Lan, half seen out of the corner of her eye.
Okay.
Imagination, of course, or maybe just the chance touch of their dreams.
Well, we know Perrin can go into...
Yeah, I mean, Perrin would make sense.
Rand, we know Rand can.
Makes sense, because he can just stride right in there through a fucking portal. And Lan, we don't know what's going on with him right now, or who he's been sent off to.
Yeah.
I still keep waiting for Lan to show up and be like, Nynaeve, I'm your warder. But I'm a little disappointed that hasn't happened yet.
Do you remember any specific characters that maybe resemble Lan?
Where? When? In this book?
No. They were in the Two Rivers when Perrin went back.
Oh, well, there was... Wait. There was... I think Lord Luke was described as looking like him.
Well, in the dream he does.
Right. But I think we kind of figured out that Strider is two individuals.
Slayer, yeah.
Or Slayer, yeah, right. Strider.
Yeah.
Strider
when he's in the dream, he's Slayer,
right.
which kind of looks like Lan. And then when he's in the world, he's Lord Luke or Lord Luke.
Yeah, Luke Mantier, right.
Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you. My internet sucks.
It's okay.
Anyways.
We forgive you. Josh was just remembering that Lord Luke or Slayer, when he's in the World of Dreams, kind of looks like Lan, which is how Nynaeve said that she had glimpses of Perrin and Lan and Rand in the World of Dreams.
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
So then we jump over to Elaine. I mean to Nynaeve, who's trying to keep herself awake, sitting on the stool.
I guess let's just mention real fast that Gawain's dream has him just beating the piss out of Rand.
Yeah, well, he
Rand
thinks he
is
killed
a
his mom.
big bully. He's a big towering guy, and freaking Gawain is the hero of the day. So.
Yeah, I mean, Gawain. At this point, Gawain thinks he killed Morghese. And he may have killed Elaine. He doesn't know that he stole the Iron Throne, the Lion Throne.
The Lion Throne.
Yeah. There's a lot of There's a lot of angst built up in there, and then he has this hold over Egwene, who he loves. So.
Yep. So we jump to Nynaeve.
And the bubble of evil.
The bubble of evil.
Bubbly evil. Evil bubble.
A bubble of evil is just things just flying everywhere.
Yeah, it's the same one that was, speaking of Tyr, this is the same kind of one that happened in Tyr, where, the one that happened to Perrin, at least, where his axe came alive and started attacking him.
Right, yeah.
And the Aes Sedai are like, it's happening. The attack is happening. The Forsaken are attacking. Link with me.
And of course, none of the Aes Sedai just listen to Elaine or Nynaeve when they're like, it's not the Forsaken.
Yeah.
Holy String, that would be the worst bubble bath ever.
So, I mean, all right. So all right, quote. Don't argue, child. Just open yourself.
Giggity.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. Guys, don't argue, child.
Just open yourself. That's gross, though. The fact that she said child.
Yeah, I'd prefer not, but...
Yeah, it's a little gross.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to kink shame.
I will.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. I probably should kink shame if that's...
That was good. That was a good one.
The quote, swallowed in wonder.
Okay.
Yeah,
that would be a weird reaction. Yeah.
Anger had vanished, swallowed in wonder. All right. Anyways.
What do you think of Josh? What'd you think of the way they described the linking and stuff like that in this? I thought that was. I always like seeing when they do stuff like this from the perspectives of the people involved in it.
Yeah. Nynaeve's breath caught as it occurred to her that she no longer felt angry. Anger had vanished, swallowed in wonder. Yet somehow, now that control had passed to the Blue Sister, the flow of Sidar continued. She was stoked.
Yeah.
She said she could not tell which emotions were hers. She felt closer to these women than they should have been to any other sister, as if they were all one flesh. A sense of awe came over her. She was part of something more than herself, greater than herself.
I mean, it just, it sounds like the way it was described is very much like a psychedelic experience. Yeah. A psychedelic experience, Sorry. Or a religious experience.
Yeah, I guess for definitely, and especially these women that are there are not women that that she has a lot of relationship with, and still they are in this moment they're very connected,
and
they seem to be emotionally connected too, not just mentally or one powery, I guess.
But Josh, to your point, both religious experiences and psychedelic experiences encountered with another person is a very bonding thing.
Yeah, well, let's call it a transpersonal experience and just
there you go.
Split the difference.
Transpersonal experience. Yes, I like that.
Well, they had a rough they had a rough go. A lot of the people in the Aes Sedai camp had a rough go of it, but it was particularly the men in the military camp.
The soldiers camp who got really attacked. Yeah,
spears and axes and swords and stuff.
Josh, Nynaeve brings up a good point here, where Elaine takes off the bracelet. Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to bring up the Adam question. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, what would happen? Yeah.
Yeah, what
theoretically they would have been able to pull on Gideon's power, but also sense her emotions, fear and frustration, and
or maybe who knows? Like, you know, it could be a situation for my D&D players, like putting a bag of holding inside of a bag of holding. Like that might not be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it could have allowed Gideon to take over. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, is it the strongest channeler who is in control? Can you
have to be given
linking? What does the combination of the Adam and linking lead to? I don't know the answer, but
yeah, no, that's the thing. It's scary a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Anaya says, "Open yourself to linking."
Yeah, I like Nicola's.
Embrace the source, but hold yourself at the point of embracing. You are open and yielding.
Right. Yep. This foretelling that Nicola has is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm presuming that's what it is. The lion sword, the dedicated spear, she who sees beyond. 3 on the boat, and he who is dead yet lives. The great battle done, but the world not done with battle. The land divided by the return, and the guardians balance the servants. The future teeters on the edge of a blade.
So who do you think those people are? The lion sword, the dedicated spear, and the one who sees beyond. Do you have any idea?
I mean, the dedicated spear have to be the Aiel. I don't know who the lion sword is. I suppose it could be Gawain.
Okay.
What's the name of the tinker who turned to the sword?
Aram.
Yeah, Aram. 3 on the boat.
What about she who sees beyond?
Oh, she who sees beyond, right.
And then he who is dead yet lives.
3 on the boat.
So there's 4 people at least described there.
Yeah, 3 on the boat, he who is dead yet lives. He who is dead yet lives is either the Dark One or the reincarnated Forsaken.
Okay.
She who sees beyond has to be another foreteller, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Or like it could be Elaine, or it could be related to Terangriel, I guess. It could be Elaine.
Okay.
3 on the boat, I thought might be wave guides, wave riders, wave
mistresses.
Yeah. It could also be the Sanshan.
Well, they say she does say the return, right?
Yeah.
The land divided by the return.
Land divided by the return. So yeah, it could. Oh yeah, she who sees beyond. I suppose that could be Birgitte too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
All right.
There's a lot happened. There's a lot in that paragraph.
Yes, it's a very dense 3 sentences.
We got to put a pin in that one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And I like the response. What was that, child?
Excuse me?
And she's like, did I say something? I feel peculiar.
A sphincter say what?
And they're like, if you're going to puke, do it over there, would you? Yeah. We ain't got time for this.
Yeah. If you're going to puke, get it over with. We got shit to do. All right.
Right. The bubble of evil ends. They're like, we told you, we saw this in Tyr. Don't worry about it. And they were going to share about the bowl and Abu Dar. But they noticed that Anaya's reaction to this not being an attack on the Forsaken kind of disappointed her.
Yeah.
And she mentions it twice. She says, quote, as though she would be disappointed to learn this truly had not been the attack by the Forsaken. And then later, why had Anaya seemed disappointed? Some thought nuzzled at the corner of her mind, but she was too sleepy to catch it. Any thoughts on Anaya? Why is and Nynaeve being weird about it?
I mean, I thought maybe it was like a suspicion of her being a dark friend or being a Black Aja. It could also just be like thinking, "Oh, we succeeded," but then realizing that they actually hadn't, that they were mistaken.
Okay. What did I miss in chapter 14?
Josh is like, challenge accepted.
He's like, all right.
Bread and butter.
I guess, what do you think about the bubbles of evil as well? Is this the dark one actually? Is this the dark miasma bubbling up and evil's just popping on the pattern like people think? Is it linked to
I think so, but it seems to be more like increasingly more directed. But maybe that's just, again, it's getting caught. Like, we had the question of proximity. Kay really thought that it was like proximity was involved. I'm not so sure about that. I think it's more like the pattern that calls it in.
Ooh, the pattern.
But it's really hard to say. Like, I mean, why did it hit Rand? Does it just hit random ass people?
That's what I was going to ask. Is there random bubbles of evil that just pop up where not our people are? Like in Kandor or in the Blight or down in Tanchico or something? I mean, are these things just happening that we don't hear about?
I mean, it did seem like there are other bubbles of evil happening elsewhere. So,
okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are they random or are they random?
Random.
Ryan, that was Rand.
That was dumb.
There you go.
Wow.
We have 2 more chapters to cover, and I wouldn't mind taking like a tiny little break if that's all right.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So.
But before you go, everyone, if you haven't not yet done so, like and subscribe, and hit the like bell and the subscribe button, and go with God. Here we're gonna take it. And break.
Bella Horse. Bella Horse. Bella Horse. Bella Horse. run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save the world. Save the world. Gotta save the world. Save the world. Bella!
Are you weak and lacking power? Are you barely paid by the hour? Why don't you join our wholesome group? Instantly be in the loop. Join the Shadow Pals and we will have some fun. We'll hunt some villagers and farm us on the run. Come join the Shadow Pals, I bet you'll rise in rank. Would not be imprisoned, some were cold and dank. Join the Shadow Pals. Join the Shadow Pals. Join the Shadow Pals.
The traffic. I can't read the boss. The baby. The dog. That does it. Calgon, take me away.
Lose your cares in the luxury of a Calgon bath. Calgon softens the water to leave skin feeling silky smooth as it lifts your spirits. The soft, luxurious, fragrant world of Calgon.
I love it.
Pamper yourself with a Calgon bath. Lose yourself in luxury.
Yes, indeedy. What signs can feed the needy. Sign the treaty.
Meat and electricity.
No, I said, yes, indeedy. Feed the needy. Sign the treaty.
Yeah. Nice.
Tom needs electricity. His whole block went out. His whole city is out. There's no power.
Oh no!
Yeah. So
darkness falls across the land. No internet is close at hand.
Creatures crawled in search of doom.
Okay, so I spent some time rereading this damn vision.
Yeah, bring it.
Nicholas?
Yeah.
Nicola.
So the lion's sword, the dedicated spear, she who sees beyond. 3 on the boat, and he who is dead yet lives. Lion's sword has to be Elaine. Dedicated spear has to be Avienda. She who sees beyond has to be fucking Min.
Oh.
Okay. And
right?
3 on the boat, and they're on a boat?
3 on the boat, and he who is dead yet lives is fucking Rand al'Thor Ni Luz Theron.
Okay.
Oh.
And I went back and I looked, and the quote from Min's original viewing of Rand in Eye of the World is a sword that isn't a sword, a golden crown of laurel leaves, a beggar's staff, you pouring water on sand, a bloody hand in white hot iron, 3 women standing over your funeral bier with you on it.
That's a boat. Are they? Is that a funeral pyre on the water?
Presumably, it's a funeral pyre on the water. It doesn't say that, but it's kind of implied. I mean, what does it interpret a coffin, which is what a funeral pyre is, as kind of like a boat?
Yeah. No, I like it.
So is this for, are you saying this is foretelling Rand's death?
I think it's foretelling, it's about Tarmangayden, right? The great battle done, Tarmangayden's done, but the world not done with battle, i.e. there will still be a fight. And this goes back to my whole kind of prediction about the end of the books, right? That Rand, as the dragon, has to die in order for free will to exist.
That's what the prophecies suggest, I guess, right?
Wow.
That's the case.
That deserves it.
What's the lemon, right?
It just means that it's another turning of the wheel afterwards, right? The great battle is done, but the world not done with battle. You could see that as another turning of the wheel. The continuation of the turning of the wheel. Land divided by the return, and the guardians balance the servants. This I'm not clear about. Aren't the Aes Sedai called the servants?
Servants of all.
Servants of all.
So
yes.
I don't know who the guardians are, but the servants could be the Aes Sedai in this context.
Ooh, good call, man. Yeah.
Balance the servants, which I mean, I guess this is harmony, right?
A land divided by the return, presumably of the Dark One, the return of the Dark One, and the guardians balance the servants. So who are the guardians? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's something we haven't seen yet. I don't know. Presumably, this is about the last battle, so there probably is information in this that we just don't have at this point in the story.
The Guardians, isn't that what they changed the Redskins to, Ryan?
Yeah, the you mean the Washington football team?
Yeah.
Jeez, Dan, Jesus, wash your mouth out.
I'm sorry, aren't they now called the Guardians?
Historically, that team was never called that blasphemous word you just said. It's just the Washington football team, and now the Guardians.
Is it the Guardians? Is it the Commanders? Is it the
Commanders?
What is the Guardians? Guardians of the Galaxy. That's
the Guardians UK. It's a 80s band.
Guardians UK. Okay. What was their greatest hit, Ryan? I can't remember.
Yeah. 99 yellow Loof balloons. It is rare.
Yellow Loof balloons. Yes. All right.
Now let's bust through this last two.
So right off the bat, right in the first sentence of chapter 15, Apollo Sand, Egwene point of view, drinking obligation. Quote, guys, she lay on her bedding, idly fingering. Right?
Jesus.
I mean, right?
Sure.
Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I've done that.
Just idly fingering while lying on your bedding?
Crack. What is it? A frat
idling
house?
finger means that you're even bored with yourself, Ryan.
I know. It's like, God. Damn
So,
it. Should I try my left hand?
Yeah. Lay on it for 10 minutes until it falls asleep.
And then yell at it for 5 minutes while it wakes up. Tell it's a bad boy. Say, stop doing that. Stop.
Oh, gosh. No, I was going to say, it just feels like a stranger.
Oh, shit.
All right, quote, since the day land fear had nearly killed her, it goes on, her head always hurt after a visit to Tel'aran'rhiod. She's been having headaches, and she thinks that it has something to do with how land fear fucked her up. She threw her against a wagon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she, I don't know if this is concussion. I don't know, but she's like, every time she does this thing, she gets a headache, like noticeably. But she did have a good time in the dream. She boned, baby. And she's exhausted. She, as if she did like real boning. She was out of her body, so she wasn't able to sleep. She got caught in this dream. So she did kind of the walk of shame back to the bus to get to her body. And she is tired. Kind of. But so when she goes back to bed and she has dreams, Josh, quote, Perrin came and stood before her, a wolf lying at his feet, a hawk and a falcon perched on his shoulders. He kept trying to throw away an axe of his until finally he ran, the axe floating through the air, chasing him. Again, Perrin, he turned away from a tinker and ran faster and faster. Matt spoke Old Tongue. He had 2 ravens on his shoulders. He didn't seem aware of them. Another, a woman, face shrouded in shadow, beckoned him towards great danger. Egwene did not know what, only that it was monstrous. Elaine forcing Rand to kneel with one hand. Elaine and Min and Aviendha sitting in a silent circle around him, each in turn reaching out to lay a hand on him. Just crazy stuff.
Josh, what is happening?
She sees Rand capering through the streets of Cairhien, laughing as he blasted buildings and people with lightning and fire. Another man ran with him, hurling the power. That awful amnesty had been announced in Cairhien, but surely no man would choose to change.
Brother Dan, how does she see him hurling the power if it's a man?
Oh, he's just doing this, laughing, and then things are blowing up. Fire, she's seeing fire come out of his face. Like a dragon.
Well, you can see balefire and lightning.
Right.
She's not seeing the weaves. She's seeing the thing that he's channeling.
Yeah, and fireballs and stuff like that.
Brother Dan, we missed one.
You can. Elaine forcing Rand to kneel. Sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I do have this underlined quote: him kneeling while she cupped his head in her hands. So yeah, I've been there.
So a couple of these are kind of interesting. So
since the 80s, Dan?
Twice this week.
Oh, you've been.
And it's only Tuesday.
You've been becupped.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Norman Gardner wins. Well, you can see Bellfire, but not for long or for earlier.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Well, I love the axe. So, okay, a couple things from this paragraph. Perrin with the wolf, a hawk and a falcon. A hawk and the falcon have to be Fael and Berelain, right? We know the falcon is Fael. The only other woman in his life is Berelain. The wolf at his feet is an interesting one. She still doesn't know he's a wolf brother, right?
She does not.
He told one of them, though, right? Or he just... Maybe he just told...
He told Fael, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I mean, she went on Reddit, and it was instantly went all around the world. But yeah, like she didn't say anything to anybody. No.
So,
but it did go viral.
What Reddit thread was that, Dan?
What?
I forget. What Reddit thread did she use? I forget.
She used sink pissers.
So the axe throwaway references back the axe and the hammer thing that Perrin was going through.
It's a real thing.
The axe chasing him happened in the bubble of evil.
In a dream?
In the bubble of evil.
Oh yeah.
In the real
axe?
The axe chased Perrin.
Yeah, Perrin. Yeah. Never mind. Sorry.
Turning away from a tinker has to be the one we just talked about. What's his fuck?
Aram.
Amram.
Aram. Yep.
Acme.
Okay, Matt speaking Old Tongue. The two ravens. Any ideas on this?
I have an idea.
I have a lot of them.
What are your ideas, though?
I
don't actually know. I thought one of them could have been the Aiel that he killed.
The Dark Friend?
Yeah.
What's her name? Melindra?
Melindra?
Yeah.
But I don't know who
I'm remembering everything today.
Well done. Well done.
It could also be the aliens. I don't know. They were ravens with their claws into his coat, into the flesh beneath.
Have we talked about
He doesn't notice them, but it says defiance passed across his face and then grim acceptance.
So I guess that could be Rand's power over him that he's always battling. It could be his TAVERN-ness, I suppose. But why would there be two of them?
Who is this shrouded woman beckoning Matt to monstrous danger?
The Queen of the Nine Moons? Daughter of the Nine Moons?
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Lanfear, maybe? Yeah, the three, Elaine, Min, and Avienda, again referencing back to the other vision, Silent Circle. Burning Mountain with the Dark One seals crunching under his boots is pretty obvious. Carmen Guiden.
Just because we don't have any feelings doesn't mean you can just take the wildest swings at us. Just because.
And she hears the crunching. She doesn't even look to see. She knows.
She just knows.
Yeah.
The crunching.
So I thought one thing we didn't mention was it looks like all of the Aiel know the secret for the heat. Like the Guy Shan don't sweat. Neither do any of the Aiel. Kind of interesting. So she mistreats Kawinda. And then, yeah, we can pick back up from there. I think that's all I got in this part.
She mistreats Kawinda. I like that. Yeah, Kawinda is her Gaishan. And she's the one who wakes up Egwene. And she's like, you don't have to poke me, you bitch.
She's right.
She's like, I could kill you with my toes, but all right, I'll take that insult. Fine.
But I would give you my toes, but I have too much toe.
It's Gia toes. Amos, Bear, and Melaine come in, start talking. Kawinda needs to go dig through a pile of sand to find a red grain. Dumb. I don't know. And they tell Egwene she's not to dream until she's fully back to her strength. Egwene doesn't really share that she had the full bone fest, but she does ask, hey, can someone pull you into their dreams? And they're like, yeah, not unless they really love you or really hate you. And Egwene's like, oh, that's so sweet. He really loves me.
So when back in the old books when Rand would get sucked into the dream world with Balsamon, was that love or hate?
Oh wow.
It's a thin line between love and hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. The opposite of love is apathy, not hate. Hate is if you hate someone, then you love them so much that your emotions are confused. I know that.
Hey, we said hi to Reese, Stan. We have a new name.
We have, yeah.
All right. I just want to say, I was having technical. I went into the boar, battled the IT demons. I came back with my cell phone intact. Reese,
Ryan, I think we saw an actual flicker of you and your life, like in the first 10 minutes of the show. You were gone, and then you were back, and then you were gone. You were back.
You saw all the parallel timelines. Was there this really big dude with a brown face?
One time you had a horn on your head.
Okay. Awesome.
Egwene admits to herself that she loves Gawain. Quote, she already knew that she loved Gawain, and his dream certainly indicated that he loved her.
Right.
How much time have they spent together, Josh? Just wondering.
It's a good question.
Hours.
Was she watching the sort of like training for hours and hours you just don't know about?
It jumps to an Elaine POV. After the bubble of evil, we learn that 7 people died in the village, 100 near the soldiers' camps because of all the swords and axes lying around. It's going to happen if a bubble of evil happens. I mean, in the novice quarters, all they're going to throw around is just cups and porcelain and basins and maybe move a bed. But in the soldiers, there's a bunch of axes that are going to find them buried.
Yeah, like I was fighting off a spork. I almost died.
Oh, I was eating my travel nachos, which is chili in a bag of Fritos, and my spork attack.
My spork attack. That's very Cleveland of you there, Brother Dan.
Hey, well, that was also very Long Beach of me. That was our lunch in Long Beach. We had a. All right, guys. We didn't have a cafeteria. We had
a lunch truck.
Freaking lunch truck that showed up to our high school, and we had to buy our lunch off a lunch truck. And by far the most popular item was some warm chili and a bag of Fritos.
In a nose bag.
Yeah, it could have been a nose bag, but I mean, I don't know. I think there's probably only one person who actually needs a nose bag. All right.
All right. Well, apparently, the one who eats with a spork is one who gets
chili. Gee, you dump chili in the bag.
I know. We're trying. We're not. Yeah.
I'm telling I respect. So you dump chili in the bag, and what are you gonna do? Eat it with your fingers like a savage? No, you get a spork.
Spork.
Yeah.
I know. They just don't know the joys of early '90s Long Beach high school time.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. We didn't have a blade of grass on our high school, right?
No. There's a bullet hole in the cafeteria all 4 years I was there.
There was a bullet hole in the window. Yeah, we had basketball practice in the U.S. Armory next door. That had
next to equipment.
It was weird.
Oh yeah,
guys, we have stories.
They don't care. They just want Bella.
They just want Bella. All right, so they ask Nynaeve and Elaine want to go to Ebadar. They spill the beans to Sheriam. They're like, look, we did our need thing. We actually found what we need. We know where it's at ish. We can't draw a map. We can't direct someone there. We haven't been there, but we've been there. So we should go. And they're like, yeah, you accepted ain't nothing. Maybe if you were full sisters, but probably not even then. But since you're accepted, there's no way. I'm like, well, that's fucked. And then it jumps to a Elaine chapter POV once again, yelling. They're blaming each other for what's going on. Nynaeve pretty much lays it out right now. She goes,
blows up.
Yeah, she does awesome. Like it says, talk. That's all you ever do. You and the Hall talk. Elaine and I can find this Tangrel, but you'd rather prattle like laying hens. She later says, do you know why you sit and talk? I do. You're afraid of the Tower Divided, afraid of Rand, the Forsaken, the Black Aja. Last night, Anaya let slip that you had a plan ready in case one of the Forsaken attacked. You think the Black Aja is right here in Saladar. You were afraid your plan might get back to Sameo or one of the others. You don't trust each other. And that's when they kind of broke, shut that shit down. But apparently Elaine said, quote, hold on. What did Elaine say? Elaine said something rad.
Elaine says,
I said I rule their fear. They do not allow it to rule them. Lead and we will follow gladly, but you must lead, not cower, hoping that something will make your troubles vanish.
Yes.
That's a badass line. Lead and we'll follow, but you ain't doing shit. But so they're scrubbing pots. God damn, they're like these pots are on their side and they've crawled in and are scrubbing sideways. That's a big pot.
That's a big yes, fuck yeah.
But Elaine is confident that she is gonna go to Ebadar. She's gonna find that Tangrel and she's gonna use it to tie Sheriam and all the rest to Rand. And then it jumps to Sheriam.
Brother Dan, let's go back to the pots real quick. I swear to God, that's more like that you're bordering on a vat. Like, if you can crawl into it, it's a vat. It's not a pot, it's a fucking vat.
It's a cauldron.
It's one of the like a trolley.
No, they called cauldrons. Everyone knows that cauldrons are for menacing children who wander in the woods. This is a human-sized bat. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
These are left over from the Age of Legends.
They're making soup for 2,000 people, Ryan.
Those are nuclear holocaust. We're doing nuclear fallout bats. I'm calling it.
They're making just gallons of chicken noodle soup.
Do they have to like step up on letting stools just to stir this shit?
Well, yeah. And it's all you can eat soup, all you can eat salad, and all you can eat breadsticks. It's the salad garden.
Everyone regrets eating too much breadsticks.
Hey, when you're in Salad Garden, you're with family.
Okay. All right. You're with family.
And then we jump to chapter 16, which is the Rand point of view chapter. What else about the girls did you want to mention at all?
I mean, there's just this nothing. I mean, I think we covered it all. There's this funny bit about like regretting, Shiriam regretting. What is she regretting? Faolain having to stay there, or the girls having to do the scrubbing? And what is it that they want? They won't tell the accepted that fewer than 2 dozen Aes Sedai know. That the Aes Sedai are afraid?
That's a good question. Right.
Yeah,
and
this
is a weird POV.
It's a really weird one. I read it like 10 times being like, I don't understand this. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like even after reading it 10 times, I didn't understand.
Right. Yeah, it looks like Shiriam, because they're like spying on the girls through a fence, scrubbing. And she does say, I regret that somewhat. So maybe it is, maybe it's unusual for accepted to have to scrub pot. I'm not sure.
Or them being sorry. She regrets them being sorry, but she's also like, well, their tone of voice, they deserve it, right?
Right. Yeah. High horse bitches. Put your chin down.
Shiriam is not sure they had long since run out of options.
That's so crazy.
Well, Shiriam is kind of the de facto head of this.
Yeah, she's the
rebellion.
The agent here, basically, or the.
Is that what she's referring to?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess maybe what they told the emissary could be what they were talking about here. Is the thing that fewer than 2 dozen Aes Sedai know?
Reese, all right. You know what? I'm Team Reese right now. Breadsticks are joy. You know, a waiter should never say, "Would you like breadsticks?" It should be
assumed. Yeah, why make me grovel, bastard? Give me the fucking breadsticks. And
no, you don't.
And by the way, butter that shit for me.
If they say, "Oh, would you like breadsticks?" You just nod and go, "Of course."
No, what's the worst is when you come with that like cold ass butter that just kind of like makes the bread crumble under your efforts.
No,
I breathe on it. I go.
That's why you need whipped butter, not the square that like the 2x4s.
Brother Dan, go to Olive Garden every once in a while, and you tell me what their butter is like.
You know the square butter check. Just put it under your underarm for a minute.
That's how they warm the breadsticks.
It's all you can eat, though, Ryan.
No, it's all you can eat. If
when the
breadsticks
are fresh, they're good.
Guys, quote, Rand nodded to Bashir and set himself erect. Yeah?
Sure.
I mean, what does that mean? Except for,
And stiff-backed.
So Rand is hanging out with some of the bigwigs.
Andorian royalty.
Right. Bashir brings him in. He sends Bashir out. And kind of just hangs out, gets some gossip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, so what are they saying about me? And they're like, well, they say that, we hear that Rand has offered a reward for Elaine. But the gossip is that Rand is kind of this. It's not clear whether he means to just.
He means good or harm, basically, right?
Correct. And it says, quote, that you will fight the last battle and kill the Dark One, that you are a false dragon or an Aes Sedai puppet. Drinking obligation. Whenever you use puppet in a derogatory sense, we must challenge it. That you're Morghase's illegitimate son, that you are the Dark One, or else the Creator clothed in flesh. Most say you killed Morghase. Many add Elaine. They say your proclamation is a mask to hide your crimes. Also, the Carathian cycle, it says, someone says, I believe you are the Dragon Reborn, but nothing there speaks of you ruling, only fighting the Dark One at time and guidance. He's like, I don't want to rule. I'm just trying to hold it for
trying to hold it down.
My lady friend.
I'm going to return Andor in one piece to my friend.
My lady friend. And he's like, and once that happens, I don't want to fucking come back here ever again. Hopefully.
Y'all groveling weirdos.
These all weirdos.
Weird Andorians.
So Dylan has been giving him a weird eye. He dismisses everyone. He's like, peace out. But Dylan, why are you giving me this weird eye?
Yeah.
And she's like, what was your mother's name? So
get my mother's maiden name out of your mouth.
Slap. And he kind of tells the story. He says, my mother was Shael. She's a maiden in the spear. My father was Janduin. She says, a chance resemblance, it seems, no more. I do not mean to say you don't know your parents, but you have the west of Andor on your tongue. He's like, well, yeah, I grew up in the Two Rivers. Yeah, what? I'm an orphan. What? And she says, quote, 25 years ago, more now, the daughter heir of Andor vanished in the night. Her name was Tigraine. She left behind a husband, Terengale, and a son, Galad. I know it is only chance. Yes, yet I see Tigraine in your face. It was a shock. He asked, how was it that Tigraine vanished? And she says, one morning, Tigraine simply was not in the palace, and she was never seen again. Some claim to see Terengale's hand in it, but he was half mad with grief. He was the king. Hold on. Terengale wanted more than anything else to see his daughter, Queen of Andor, and his son, King of Cairhien. And Guitar Sedai was involved.
Yep.
Guitar Moroso.
Classic.
Told Shael that unless she fled into the waste, quote, telling no one and became a maiden in the spear, disaster would fall on Andor and the world.
All right, what's going on here, Josh?
This is where we hear about Luke. It says, Guitarra spent more time with Tigraine and Luke, Tigraine's brother. After Luke rode north, never to return, Whisper said Guitarra had convinced him that his fame lay in the Blight or his fate.
So presumably whatever happened in the Blight is what created Slayer.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, okay, you put that. All right, Lord Luke. All right, well, let's go back. I mean, we learned a lot. Let's go into some details.
So Galad is Rand's half brother. Elaine is his half sister. No, it's not his half sister. Elaine is his stepsister. No, not exactly. Wait, Galad is his half brother because it's his mom and a different man.
Yep.
Elaine is that man and another woman, and he's the son of an Aiel chief and Galad's mom. So he's like 1 degree removed from being Elaine's brother.
What do you think about Guitarra sending Rand's mom out?
Oh, we already saw all of this, right? I mean, having read what we did the book before this, it's just we knew it was all interconnected when we read that. So it's not surprising. I mean, Guitarra Moroso was at the center of everything, right? She sent, and Rand says it explicitly right here. Basically, like Guitarra, without Guitarra sending his being where she was to be the advisor to the king, wouldn't have sent Tigraine away. Rand wouldn't have been born. Therefore, there wouldn't have been him to be the dragon, and Moiraine and Swan would not have gone on their quest without having seen Guitarra Moroso's vision of him being born when she passed away, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you think Guitarra was TAVERN? It was Bill McGarden's question. Great question.
I wish I could remember what I said when we talked about this during New Spring.
Seriously, Guitarra Santa Rosa is like one of the most enigmatic. We haven't had a POV from her, right? She's
never a POV. We've only seen her, from other people's perspectives. I mean, I don't really know if she's TAVERN or not. Is foretelling a TAVERN activity? I mean, I guess she was in a lot of the right places at the right time, which would probably indicate she's TAVERN.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
KayK just said she thinks she is.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember her. Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Well, sure, let's get her on and let's guess one day.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. It says here, quote, Tigraine went to the waste in secret, which made Layman Damodred cut down Avendadera.
Oh, right. And that created the Aiel War as well.
Make a throne, an act which brought the Aiel across the spine to kill him. And with the Aiel came a maiden named Shaio, who died giving birth.
Wait. They're blaming Tigraine on that bullshit? That's so typical for a man.
No, they're blaming Guitarra.
They're blaming Guitarra for sending her away, which thereby made Layman do that. Layman can fuck off. He could have done that if he had a bad bowel movement. He could have done that if he tripped over and fell on his face and reminded him of the tree. He could have tripped over a stump on the tree and said, fuck it, cut it down. No, they're going to blame fucking Tigraine?
Ryan, quote, so many lives changed, lives ended, so she could give birth to him at the proper time and place and die doing it.
Say all that again.
It says, so many lives changed, lives ended, so she could give birth to him at the proper time and place and die doing it.
That's such a yeah. But if you,
I mean, this is what we've talked about as far as that poll. The TAVERN, did Loyal leave the steading because he was going to be needed in 18 months or 3 years in Andor? I mean, did he? Are these things predetermined before birth? Is Rand's in utero?
Yeah. Would Tigraine have gone whether or not Katara, Senator Marosa told her to go? Would some other sign that happened to make her go, or was it have to be in sequence? Like, all these things are fucking crazy, but it really bespeaks like when Josh keeps saying free will. It's like, God damn it, I wonder, doob doop, who's got free will? Tell me, baby, Tigraine go to the ways. She almost dies, she almost flies, and then she makes a baby. And she died.
Rand has a visitor. Rand's like, no, I'm going to Kyrian. Fuck that. And Bashir's like, nah, you really should talk to this guy. Turns out it's a emissary from Lord Bren, aka Samuel.
Right.
He says, hey, we shouldn't fight each other. It comes out as Samuel's voice. This guy is just grinning like, but out of his face comes Samuel's voice saying, hey, I don't want to fight you. You don't want to fight me. Let's just, you know what? Let's just, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to attack you. You promised not to attack me. Let's just be cool. Let's just be cool, brother. And Rand's like, I don't make deals with bad people. And the guy goes, okay. And he smiles and just starts to just burst out blood from his face. He's like, smiling still.
Oh, blood face. Oh, yes. Blood face.
Hey. Yeah. So the guy just freaking dies. And they're like, wow, that's weird. Rand's like, make sure you bury him. Say a prayer if you want. I don't know what you guys do.
It might help.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm peacing off to Kyrian.
So.
And, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, and that's pretty much kind of where it ends with him wanting to go to Kyrian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ryan, to get back to your point, I mean, I like to imagine that the pattern has a bunch of backup players, like one move away. Think of it like 3D chess, right? Like, if Tigraine had used her free will and had not decided to do X, Y, and Z, there would have been another, some chance circumstance would have caused another one of those mothers to, move onto the battlefield. Now, would that have been a child of an Aiel? Probably not. And is there something with this particular turning of the wheel where the dragon prophecies are different or need to fulfill some other thing? We always think that the time we live in is the time of utmost importance, right? So it's easy to imagine how it looks that way to the characters who we're seeing the story being told through, right? Is there something unique about this turning of the wheel? Like where the Dark One's situation, the Great Lord's, situation is different than previous times? Or is this just yet another vanilla turning, right? And that's the thing we can't and don't know.
I sometimes conceive of it as like this. Like if Tigraine decided to not go to the waste, then that timeline continues on, and there's a timeline where she does continue to go to the waste. And I think of those infinite possibilities happening simultaneously. and we are just experiencing the narrative of the one that just made it to the end. But
well, and Josh, so if what we're reading is true, let's have a little empathy for Galad, right? I mean, this was a little boy whose mom ran away. He wasn't raised with a mom, and we saw how Elaine treated him.
Treats him, right?
She's like, "That's not my brother. Fuck that guy."
I know.
He hasn't had the easiest life, even though he's been a prince and is the most handsome guy in the world.
And I mean,
he still has some separation issues, perhaps.
Well, he was also being primed to be the king of Karheen, right?
That was the plan,
right? So
yeah. Imagine that, Elaine the queen and Galad the king of Karheen.
Yeah. I don't know, Ryan, about the many worlds interpretation. I don't know if I'm going to go with the quantum many worlds interpretation in this. I'm not sure it's that.
But I
hear you, that's possible.
Didn't Flicker kind of give you like hints of that? Didn't it like resemble that idea happening at all?
Not to me, but
yeah, well, fucking whatever. Yeah. Fine.
I mean, they weren't reliving the same
Josh is a tough
over
sell.
and over again with small variations. They were living different lives.
If Robert Jordan came down back to Earth and joined the show, Josh would argue it.
Guys, there is one more drinking obligation. Quote, Asmodean taking you from behind.
Okay, that's a good one.
All right. When Josh drinks with me, I feel like I succeeded, Ryan.
Yeah, wasn't RJ a nuclear physicist?
Yes, a nuclear physicist. He just read as a hobby.
Nuclear physics and quantum mechanics are two very different things. I mean, just saying.
Is there anything else about this chapter? This ends with Rand wanting to. He's like, "I'm off to Karheen. Fuck all y'all." But he did get this messenger from Samael, who burst into blood. How do you burst into blood? That's how.
We've already seen a blood bag body, the floating blood bag from Lanfear. That's pretty great.
The skin ripped off or whatever. Yeah.
You
know, it's just the skin removed, but
plus this guy had the permagrin. He's on.
He was like a Macy's Day frame. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up. Is there anything else in your notes that you wanted to touch on before we called this a night?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. We do see Rand does seem a little flippant with Bashir. Bashir's like, "Oh, but I thought you were going to check out my horses." He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, the next. I'll do it. I'm going to do it." But Rand's got a freaking full plate right now. He's jumping from like. He showed up. Well, in the next chapter, but
he's moving a shaker, yeah.
But he's all over the place. Next week we will. So this was 375 was where this ended. We will attempt to do about 100 pages again, which means that this will go to chapter 24.
Awesome.
We're gonna do 17 through 20. Oh, hold on. Let's do 17 through 23.
All right.
17 through 23. We're whipping through this though. There's 55 page chapters.
Yeah.
So we're about 40% through ish.
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving the new format. I'm feeling good. Just can't. It's all roads lead to Josh getting through the books and then schooling everyone.
Yeah. I know, it hurts my head.
Right. All right. This is a heady chapter, man. Josh, good job. Good job. Dan, good job. Internet, fuck off.
Great job.
Internet.
Everyone else get to read, you filthy animals.
Yeah. Read and fuck off.
Read and fuck off. See y'all next